facebook.com DML Daily, you will see pinned at the top is the YouTube link. Click on it. It actually goes to my site, and you could either watch it on my site or you could watch it on YouTube. I am going to wind up dying off on this Facebook Live here during this walk. So again, I repeat, go to my timeline. Pinned to the top, you will see will be a link that you need to go to. Go to that link. It will take you to the YouTube feed. Okay? I'll hold on to both phones for a little while. I'm actually switching. All right, I'm holding two phones for a while. Here, you can see it. Okay? I'm going to be dropping off one. All right, let's get right into this. This is a little difficult holding two phones and doing it. We'll do this for a couple days, and then we're just going completely to YouTube. All right, so what do we start off with? Well, for those of you who are new, that you're tying into us with Joe at Right Side Broadcasting, we welcome you. This is a great show, right? All my Facebook friends will tell you. We do a lot of stuff on here. Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, literally, as in yesterday. Sometimes we meet strangers, everything. What we do is we walk and talk for 1 hour. It's broken up into 4 different segments. You've got politics, then you've got opinion from yours truly, then you've got the wow segment, which is like something you can't believe is happening, and then you've got the story time. Story time is you get your milk, you get your cookie, and I'm going to tell you some good stuff. Today, politics, we're going to be discussing Trump and China, Trump and Carson. And then in the opinion section, we're going to be talking about Jill Stein and her crazy recount. Then in the wow section, we're going to be talking about ISIS and Inauguration Day as cars drive by and look at me like a total nut because I've got 2 cell phones. Can you see them? Okay. All right. Then the 4th section, I'm going to be telling you about Canada, the border, and the terror that's coming through there. One more time, I just want to say it to those of you in my left hand that are on Facebook Live. Please disconnect from here and go to my timeline on Facebook. At the top, you'll see the link for YouTube. Eventually, I'm going to drop you on this, okay? So, now we go. There's the big to-do about the fact that Donald J. Trump, President-elect, man I am very proud to have voted for, that he took a phone call from the president of Taiwan. Why is this such a big deal, Dennis? Why are they making this such a big deal? I'll tell you why they're making a big deal. Because the liberal media needs something. They need something to go after this man. Because so far, all he's done is he's been ahead of schedule with his cabinet picks. All he's done is kept American companies that want to move to Mexico, kept them in place. Said, hey, Ford, gonna stay in Kentucky? Yes, we are. Hey, Carrier, gonna stay in Indiana? Yes, we are. So what do they need? They need something to kick them in the groin about. And so what they do is they take this whole thing with the Taiwanese president calling and saying, hey, congratulations, Mr. Trump. DML, why is that a big deal? I really don't understand the whole Taiwan thing, Chinese thing. Let me explain. China has for a very long time said, hey, Taiwan, you're part of us. And Taiwan has said, hey, China, screw you. And the people of Taiwan want to be independent. But China says, well, we're bigger, stronger, faster. Now, America has always basically protected Taiwan. And I don't want to give you too much of a history lesson here because a lot of this stuff happened before I was even born. You know I'm only 23 years old, right? So anyhow, what happened is in 1979, we wound up aligning more with Beijing than obviously Taiwan. So for the past, I don't know how many years is that, almost 40 years now, the United States has been tied into Beijing and not really talking to the president of Taiwan. So President Donald J. Trump gets a phone call from Taiwan, from the president, who, oh, by the way, was elected in a Democratic election. And so he says, hey, I want to just say, hey, congratulations, everything else, la-di-da-di-da-di. Donald J. Trump takes the phone call, and the world comes to an end. Or at least for the liberals, it does. Liberals like, how dare he? How dare he take that phone call? We haven't talked to this guy in almost 40 years. He's trying to pick a fight with China. Okay, listen. Last time I checked, United States of America is his own country. Last time I checked, Donald J. Trump, president-elect, has been doing deals with China. He understands how China is absolutely kicking us in the groin, how they manipulate their currency, how they turn around and they just keep on taking American jobs right? I've dealt with China before. Let me tell you something. They'll steal your patent. They'll steal your stuff in any way, shape, or form they can. We'll get into that another day. I'll tell you that story time. But basically, here's the thing I just can't understand, right? China comes out and they start warning, the president. Oh, president-elect, I should say. Oh, he got tricked. Taiwan tricked him. They're trying to kickstart a fight here. They're trying to make, you stupid, Donald J. Trump. How dare you talk to Taiwan? Now, the problem was that Donald J. Trump called them a nation. In other words, saying they have their own sovereignty. China doesn't like that because China's like, no, Taiwan, you're part of us. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff, right? This is not the way we live over here. Donald J. Trump's like, you know what? We've had enough of this garbage for a long time. And guess what, China? You're not going to manipulate currency anymore. And if you're going to do it, we're not going to let you do it. And we're not going to be subject to you and your cheap labor, bringing all this stuff back into the United States. And you know what? You liberal media, and you know what? All you liberals complaining and screaming at me because I'm taking a phone call from somebody who just wants to congratulate me about my presidency. Where was the outrage from all you liberal haters? Where was the outrage when President Barack Hussein Obama did a deal with Cuba? Where was the outrage over Fidel Castro, who has just been one of the worst human beings that we've seen in our lifetime? Where was the outrage there? There was no outrage. It was, oh, President Obama is reaching his hand out, all this other stuff. Where was that? Where was that outrage? It was nowhere. Nowhere. So what did Donald J. Trump do? He took out the greatest weapon he has right now as president-elect. Twitter. Anyway, tweet. Yeah. He said, you know what, China? You're not going to give me a hard time. Yeah, give me a hard time. You think we're afraid of you? You're intimidating little war on everything that isn't communist? You think that? Ain't gonna happen. I'm President-elect Donald J. Trump, and there's a new sheriff in town. President Obama is gone, man. Gone. 40 days, whatever the days is, we're counting them. We're counting them out loud. At my house, we have it on the refrigerator. We keep on peeling a day off and peeling another day off. And it's like, yeah. Pretty soon we're gonna wind up just, looking at the bottom of a souffle, and it's not gonna say made in China anymore. It's gonna say made in Indiana. Or we're going to look at the bottom of, one of Mary's many little decorations that we don't need in the house. Look underneath it. It's going to say made in New Mexico versus made in Mexico. People around the world don't like this because they know that we're a rich nation. We have money, and that they want to take that money from us because we've been stupid. No more. Donald J. Trump, he's not an ambulance chasing lawyer. No. He's a successful businessman. People in China know this. Everybody around the world, party's over. This Trump guy, man, party's over. What are we going to do? Well, we better start putting out bad things about him. He's just a bad guy. Maybe the liberal media in the United States of America, they'll help us. Why don't we reach out to them? Sure. George Stephanopoulos sitting there trying to kick Pence right in the groin. Pence says no, not a chance. He wound up getting a phone call. What do you want him to do? Hang up on the guy? He's not going to hang up on anybody. No way, no how. Ain't going to happen. And so there we go. Donald J. Trump sends out the tweets, hey, China, ain't gonna happen. And so then what happens? Everybody starts screaming at Donald J. Trump. Oh, he's gonna start a war with China. We need the relationships with China. Sure, we want to have relationships with everybody, but we're not gonna be dictated to. We're gonna no longer have the dog collar around our neck and be pulled around like Obama did. Nuh-uh. Those days are over, man. We are the United States of America. And if you don't like it, and you don't want to be our friend, and you don't want to recognize the fact that you will look up to us and our exceptionalism, guess what? Get out of here. See you later. Now you may say, DML, wait a second. I don't want to get into no wars with China. And on top of that, we got North Korea. We're going to need a little bit, that guy's a maniac over there. I get it. Donald Trump knows how to strike a deal. Donald Trump knows how not to get into a fist fight. Okay? But Donald Trump also knows that we're not going to be run over anymore. Those days are over. Okay? We're going to show our strength, and we're going to show our love at the same time. With Obama, we've been showing our weakness. Those days are over. Now, before we get into my opinion piece about the crazy maniac, also known as Jill Stein, who, oh my goodness, wait until we get into that whole thing. I just want to make a couple of little other announcements here in the politics section. Donald J. Trump has now reached out and said, hey, Dr. Carson, man who separated, Siamese twins. Hey, Dr. Carson, man that everybody in the country loves. And if you don't love him, something's wrong with you. I would like you to be my HUD secretary. Yeah. So you know what we're going to get? We're getting the best of the best. That's what we're getting. We're getting a cabinet filled with the best of the best. And I think it's a glorious day. And I'll tell you why it's a glorious day. Because when I first started this walk, it was raining. And now we're talking about Donald J. Trump and the sun's out. Look. It's a great day. Now I got 2 cell phones. And I guess the good thing about it, the fact that it was raining, is that not many people are out, so I don't look like a total maniac with 2 phones. See the 2 phones? 2 phones. Okay. All right. So let me, YouTube, hold on one second. Let me talk to Facebook people. Facebook people, listen to me. Listen to your buddy DML. It's time to say goodbye to Facebook Live. They're just not doing you right. So what do? DML, how do we get over to YouTube? Here you go. All the links that you need to know are at the top of my timeline, pinned to the top. Get off this and click on that, because by the time I get to the church bells, and our new YouTube friends don't know so much, but once we get to the church bells, I'm going good night and I'm turning off the Facebook Live. So you better turn around right now and get over to the YouTube channel, and you get that through my website, pinned to the top at DennisMichaelLynch.com. Walk and talk. Okay, you can get it. Go there now. All right, let's get back into the program now. The opinion piece. For those of you on YouTube, got a little news for you. I don't like talking about Jill Stein. Why don't you like it, DML? I'll tell you why. Because she's nothing. As far as I'm concerned, she is just wasting space. She has just taken $7 million and flushed it down the porcelain. Yes, also known as the toilet bowl. It's over. It's endless. It's stupid. She just wants attention. Hillary Clinton's happy that some other woman is now going to be looked at as the wacko. Yeah, that's right. Jill Stein is doing anything she can in the twilight of her life to get the attention that she's always so much wanted, but could never figure out how. So what does she do? She's going to try to kick Donald J. Trump in the groin. Boom! Right in the boy. Boom! You know what Donald Trump is? I got balls of steel. That's what he says. You ain't going to kick me. Go ahead. Try it again, Jill. Raise more money. What American would give this woman money? Nobody, really, DML, if you think about it. It's probably George Soros. I agree with you 100%. Because where were all these people giving this woman money when she was running for president? They were nowhere. Yeah. So Jill Stein, right? Listen to the way this thing is whole developing. So she wants this whole recount thing, and that's old news. You know that. She wants it in Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. 3 places where Donald J. Trump, president-elect, won. For some crazy reason, she doesn't want to go check out any of the other states where Hillary won, just the ones where Donald won. Yeah, and now she's trying to position it as, well, it's voter fraud. We want to make sure our elections have integrity. How much do you want to bet? How much do you want to bet that if Donald J. Trump, president-elect, did not win on November 8th, that we wouldn't be having a recount? How much you want to bet? Anybody want to bet? Bet you don't want to bet. No. That's number 1. Number 2. Let's get to the juice, DML. All right, I'll get to the juice. So, anyhow, Pennsylvania state courts are like, Jill Stein, take you and your green leaves and get the hell out of here, okay? We've already voted. We got our president. It is what it is. The good people of Pennsylvania, we want to move on, okay? Especially those of us who live in the industrial parts of Pennsylvania who haven't had a good job in a long time. We want Donald J. Trump. Leave now. Wow. Well, Jill Stein's like, I'm not going to stop there. Although I'd really like to, because, I really want to pocket this money, or at least use it for something else. So I keep on building up my profile. And yeah, I'll run for president again in a couple of years. Okay. What she does is she goes into the federal courts. And she's like, come on, federal courts, help me out here. Come on, we need this recount. We need this recount because all of the minorities in the country are all depending on this, because there's so much voter fraud in the minority counties. And we really, come on, it's an injustice if we don't give it to these people. Meanwhile, now in the state of Michigan, although Michigan just recently declared Donald J. Trump is officially the winner, they said, Donald Trump won by all these votes. And Jill Stein's like, we got to do something. Let's go to the federal courts. So a judge, just last night, says, hey, you know what? This Jill Stein chick, she's got herself a real fight here. And I'm going to agree to this. So not only am I going to say, yeah, we're going to start the recount, but we're going to fast forward this thing. So it's starting this afternoon because a federal judge who was appointed by, who do you guess? We'll do a little Jeopardy on the show for YouTube. Obama? You got it right. Yes, he was appointed by Obama, and that's why he's helping out Jill Stein. Yeah, DML, do we have to worry about this? Seriously, you told us we didn't have to worry about this? DML never steers you wrong. DML told you when everybody else in the media was telling you that Donald Trump had no chance of winning the election. Dennis Michael Lynch said, yes, he does. When everybody else in the world said to you that, well, you know, he could win the popular vote, but there's no way he's going to win the Electoral College. And here's why. He's not going to get through that blue wall. You heard it on CNN. You heard it on Fox. You heard it every single way. You heard it on Newsmax, that place, right? You heard it on NBC, CBS, CNBC, all the C's, all the N's, all the B's. One guy told it to you different. One guy said, wait a second, let me rip out my electoral map here. Well, he's going to get this state, and that state, and this state. And oh, by the way, he's going to get Ohio. And the reason why they won't tell you that he's going to win Ohio is because Ohio always picks the president. And so if they say he's going to win Ohio, it's pretty much lights out. They don't want to tell you that. They want to hold that back. They just want to tell you they can't win the Electoral College. So they did that and did that and did that. You had one friend, DML, walking the streets here because I got fired from my television show. Not because I'm kooky, not because I'm crazy, but because I'm honest. And I know my stuff. What happened? You guys said, I got to listen to DML. Him and Hannity, they're my only sanity. That rhymed. And so what happened? He won. Yes, he won. Yes. And now I'm telling you, you have nothing to worry about Jill Stein. This is a flash in the pan. This is a woman who just raised $7 million. Why are you saying that, DML? Well, let me tell you this. So far, the state of Wisconsin, right, has completed 2 days. They'll be back at the saddle today. They're going through all of these different votes. Guess what's taking place? Guess what? Donald J. Trump, president-elect, is coming out with more votes than we thought he had. You gotta love it. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. Jill Stein, you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna figure it out that our guy, Donald J. Trump, he got more votes than we thought he did. And guess why? Because, yeah, there is voter fraud. And you guys have been criticizing him forever for saying that sort of thing. Yeah, but here's the thing. Voter fraud is usually done by the crazy Democrats, not by the reasonable Republicans and conservatives. No, because we understand the rule of law. That's what we fight for all the time. You freaking lunatics, you're the ones with the fraud. You're the ones busting in the illegal aliens. Yeah. And so that's why it's going to come out. We're going to come out with more votes. So if you want to keep on raising money from George Soros and all the people like him, you want to keep on raising money from people who seem to have money to spend it with nobody else other than some woman named Jill Stein who nobody voted for, go ahead. Go ahead. We're going to have a bigger celebration. Absolutely. Yes, 100%. And that's my opinion there. Yeah, it's a great opinion. Now, YouTubers, let me just take a little side note. And my joy. It's funny, my nose is running. I can't wipe it because I got two hands. Look, two phones. Only DML would do that. Sean Hannity would never do this. DML, he doesn't have to. Well, maybe one day he will. Maybe one day Fox will tell him you can't like Donald J. Trump anymore because that's the fashionable thing to do. Ooh, what would happen then? So anyway, this is what happens, YouTubers. When I get to this part of the walk and talk, you could hear in the background the bells. This was not planned by design. I just took this route because it was the best place I could get cellular service. And then every day when I walked, and why'd you pick 1140? Was there any particular reason? Yeah, to be quite honest, because to get my website all ready and all my writers set and everything else, it takes me till 11:30. So I was like, I start at 11:40. Nobody else starts the show at 11:40. And all my friends over here, see, all my friends on Facebook Live, they know that DML is a unique guy who likes to be a little different. So I'll go 11:40. Now some of you may say, whoa, you got to finish up by 12 o'clock because that's when Rush Limbaugh comes on. You go to Rush. I'm not going to Rush. We stay here, right? Yeah, well, that's when Jay Sekulow comes on. Go to Jay. Go to Jay. If you don't want to stay, go to Jay. That's when InfoWars are. Well, if you want to go to InfoWars, go to InfoWars. This is the DML hour, and this is what we do. Now, when we get to the bells, and they will chime again, I always take a little pause in the action, right, friends? And I always say thanks to God. Now, if you don't believe in my God, don't get insulted. Say thanks to your own God. You don't have to like my God. I don't get all preachy and religious-y, but I am going to give the respect that is due. And just like I would respect your God, whoever your God may be. If your God is Alec Baldwin, then I have no respect for you. Remember Alec Baldwin? I am God. Now, some of you may be saying, hey, DML, speaking of Alec Baldwin, you said you were going to post a video last night of Alec Baldwin. Where was it? You know what? I got called away last night. Mrs. Lynch said, no more. So I will post it either today or tomorrow. Oh, there he is! Right on time. There you go. Lord, I want to thank you for having been so great to me and giving me two hands so I could hold two phones simultaneously, despite the fact that all the people are looking at me like that strange guy just got stranger. Now, Lord, I thank you very much for the ability to hold two phones in my hand upright for 1 hour. And I do hope that when 5 years from now comes and I've got tendonitis in my elbows and my wrists and my shoulders, you will show me the sign of how I could fix that. All right, now back. See, people are like, oh, it's not a dangerous job walking and talking. It's very dangerous. Kidding me? And unless we repeal and replace Obamacare, I'm really screwed. Yeah. All right, now, what happens at this part of the show is we get into the wow section. And then after the wow section, we get into story time. Now, if you want to drop off because story time sort of gets somewhat Dennis personal, I have no offense to that. No offense whatsoever. But if you want to come in for the news, you want to come in for the analysis like I just gave you on the whole Trump thing, all right, but we are going to get to Dr. Ben Carson for 1 second. I did meet Dr. Ben Carson. I forgot to say this before. And the other thing too, YouTubers, sometimes you'll see I digress or I'll stop something, but it always comes back to me. And the reason being is because I have freight trains coming through my head. Like right now, I'm trying to figure out how to get these people, these 4,000 people, to go over to YouTube. Because I've said it nine times already, and they're not listening to me. I'm sorry. You need to leave Facebook Live, go to my Facebook page, and click the YouTube link, which is through Dennis Michael Lynch. So this way we can only have one phone. Can't do this all the time every day. Now, after the wow, we go into the stories. But now we have to go into the wow. But before the wow, Dr. Ben Carson. I actually consulted for Ben Carson a year back. I was a Donald Trump supporter. Everybody knew it. But Carson asked me if I would sit down with him for 90 minutes and tell him all about immigration. Because he knew yours truly was the dude when it came to that topic. And so I sat down with Carson. I really got to know him for that 90 minutes. I also then was invited back to his house, beautiful house, to his house in Maryland, and I interviewed him for another hour after he dropped out and when Trump was the winner. Let me tell you something about Ben Carson. This is a man of fantastic and incredible integrity. Now look, this woman here walking the dog, she's gonna look at me like I'm a wacko. I usually say hello to people, I don't want to scare her. All right, so yeah, I do look crazy. Even I realize I look crazy. And YouTube, most of the time I say hello to people. I'm not gonna say hello to anybody today. I'm afraid I'm gonna scare them. I'm scared they'll call the cops on me. I think they've done that before, right? Facebook? Yeah, so anyway, Ben Carson has got to be one of the greatest human beings I've ever met in my life. Now, it's sort of weird because people say that about him all the time, and you gotta be like, look, there's gotta be a shortcoming on this guy. I gotta tell you something. The only shortcoming is the teleservice he has at his gate when you go in there. I mean, it doesn't work really well. That's the worst thing I can say about this guy. He's fantastic. And let me tell you, putting him in charge of HUD, it's gonna turn it around. He's gonna totally turn it all around. He's gonna get in there, he's gonna get his hands dirty, and he's gonna separate bad from the good, like he separated Siamese twins. That said, I turned the corner, and that's my indication it's time for wow. Okay, here you go. ISIS, you know, the JV team. Well, the thing with ISIS is that although President Barack Hussein Obama doesn't think they're really that big of a deal, and although the media really doesn't cover them anymore like they used to cover them anymore, it's sort of like, oh, somebody's head got chopped off, big deal. Who won Dancing with the Stars, right? Because that's where we are in this world. We have lost our way. That's why we need new media. And that's why we raised almost $300,000 to create a new media platform. And we'll be doing some stuff with Joe from Right Side Broadcasting. What a great guy. So, it comes down to that ISIS is still trying to kill Americans because you are the infidel, and they think that you look better with your head chopped off than with it on your shoulders. I know that may sound a little crazy, maybe a lot crazy, but yes, this is what they do. And Barack Hussein Obama has basically created that problem. Donald J. Trump is going to destroy it. Now, we're going to talk a little bit today in the WOW section about how it is that I think we have to destroy ISIS, and you'll all agree with me, because if you don't know yet, I'm pretty creative when it comes to things, and I'm creative when it comes to having to kill a terrorist, and a whole gallon of them. So, they have put out warnings that the inauguration, which just so happens to be on a Friday, in case you don't know, January 20th, and yes, yours truly will be in Washington, D.C., broadcasting live with Right Side Broadcasting, and maybe my cell phone as well, maybe both cell phones. We're going to be there. We're going to be watching who I think will be the greatest president of all time. Of course, until I'm president. But then I think we're going to watch the guy who's going to create more jobs, and the guy who's going to kill ISIS. We're going to watch him get swear in, also known as the inauguration. So ISIS is saying, hey man, guess what we're going to do? We're going to start blowing things up. We're going to call it, ready for this? Bloody Friday. They're going to call it Bloody Friday. That's what they're going to do. So, what are we doing about this? Are we ignoring it? Are we pretending like it's not going to happen? President Barack Hussein Obama almost hoping that it happens? Who knows? I know that sounds a little crazy. Dennis, don't say radical stuff like that. Of course he doesn't want it to happen. But you know what? Periodically I become human. And I remember that this guy is the one who created it. And if he didn't want them to be created, he would have done something about it. And he did nothing. Nothing. In fact, he enabled them. He enabled them. And, you know, of course, Hillary Clinton, she helped it too. DML, remind them that Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation took millions of dollars from governments who also fund ISIS. Just reminding you, just so this way you don't forget, because the mainstream media doesn't bring it up anymore. It's like, oh, our friend Hillary, she's okay now. She's out. She's good. Ain't going to jail. Let me tell you, that's coming back. Yeah. You know what? I've thought about this a number of times. No way Trump and company is just going to let her go. No way. They're going to get her through the Clinton Foundation. It's going to be the greatest day ever. And she deserves it. We need to send a message. Big time message. You don't screw around with the American people. You don't sell us. We're not for sale. You're not for sale for a donation. Yep. All right. So what are we going to do about this thing with ISIS? Well, first of all, am I a little hazy when it comes to feeling confident about the FBI and about our ability to stop lone wolves and attacks of this nature? I am. I'm sorry, I am. Now, that's not a bad note about the FBI. That's not a bad note about the men and women who try to keep you safe. It's a bad note about what I always tell you here on Facebook, right? Now on YouTube. It's all about leadership. When leadership folds, when leadership sends a bad tone, what winds up happening is everything around it gets lazy. Everything around it gets complacent. Everything around it, believe it or not, starts to act, believe, and breathe like the leader. Now you may be saying, what are you talking about, DML? I'm not even close. Not even close to being like Barack Hussein Obama. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about our federal agencies. I'm talking about the fact that, you know, you got agencies now who are basically just running as they will, right? Remember the IRS going after Tea Party people? That stuff never happened before Obama's watch, right? So what happens? FBI gets a little lazy. FBI cuts corners, because that's what Obama does. He cuts corners. He doesn't believe in certain things matter, such as, you know, ISIS. He just believes Black Lives Matter. And so that's why we send people from the Department of Justice to funerals. Yeah, instead of turning around and keeping the Department of Justice going after hate crimes, and where Black Lives Matter kick the living crap out of white people for absolutely no reason, just because, hey, guess what, we're white. They don't go after that. They don't go after that. So you get it? Don't you get it? When you sew it all together, and that's why you like what I tell you, because it's like, wow, you know, I never thought of it that way. Yes, think of it that way. He has set the tone. And so when he sets the tone of anything goes, laws don't matter, it's all about Black Lives Matter and illegal aliens, oh, and that ISIS thing, they're just the JV team. People start to say, hey, you know what? Maybe he's right. You know? And then what do? They start spending money on stuff that doesn't matter. They start spending money on things where they shouldn't be spending money. And that's why everything right now in America is absolutely chaotic and broken. That's why it is. So, DML, are you telling me that it's going to be dangerous for us at the inauguration? No, because I'm going to tell you right now. When you go to the inauguration, if you do go, I'll be there. It's going to be like Fort Knox times 7,000. Yes, Fort Knox times 7,000. It will be so secure. You've never seen anything like it in your life. And on top of that, and we've talked about this before, my Facebook friends, but it's worthy of bringing up again. I remember when I interviewed Rudy Giuliani, former presidential candidate and soon to be announced, I hope, and we all hope, Secretary of State. When I spoke to him about Islamic terror and how to stop it, he said, the problem we have is that when you try to stop the mafia, you try to stop crime, even though you're not a criminal, you could sort of put your mind into the mind of the criminal. So in other words, all right, I'm going to steal this money. How do I make sure I don't get caught? Or I'm going to steal this car. How do I cover my tracks? Or I'm going to burn this body alive. What do I do? What do I buy? What do I do? And although it's sort of, you think crazy for a good person to think like a bad person, well, you know what? A bad person, at the end of the day, is sort of rational in the way that their thoughts come about of, how am I going to get away with this? With a terrorist, it's almost impossible to stop them, especially the lone wolf, because it is irrational to say, how do I do this crime and kill myself at the end? How do I make this crime happen? How do I kill these people and not matter, not care if I get killed in the end? And because rational people don't think that way, what do we come up with? We're always chasing a ghost. We're like, wow, I didn't think somebody was going to go in and start shooting up a Christmas party in San Bernardino. Wow, I never thought a guy would wind up going in and shooting up people at an Orlando nightclub. Wow, never thought that refugee was going to get in the car and drive his car into a bunch of students in Ohio, then take out a butcher knife and just try to chop them up to pieces. Wow, never thought that people would try to get on airplanes and crash them into the Twin Towers. Okay, so that's what it is. We can't get our minds in their mindset. So we try to do all the surveillance and we try to peekaboo on their stuff that's going on online and social media. And it's just too much. You can't track it. It's like me going into that lawn right now, right? And trying to find worms. It's impossible. It's impossible. It's just too big. And you tell me I got only 5 minutes to do it. Find the worm that's going to kill somebody. You just can't do it. And that's why maybe we'll pick out 10 of the worms, but we're going to miss the one. And that's the difference. That's the difference about terrorism. We have to be right 100% of the time. They have to be right once. That's all it is. Now, I'm going to stop here for a second. I'm sorry, YouTube people. And this is not usually the way the broadcast goes with these interruptions. Although, except sometimes when I jump in the leaves. I want to tell you something, Facebookers. We're getting to the part of where I always spin. I'm going to lose you. I am literally going to turn off my phone. I'm just going to go to one phone. You're going to miss the rest of the broadcast. And I got some good stuff to tell you about the Canadian border. So what do? Right now, you hang out with me. You go to my timeline. You're there all the time. Facebook.com/DML Daily. Pinned to the top. You will see my announcement for Facebook Live, right? Which really, DML Walk and Talk. You go there. There is a link that takes you to my website, and you will be able to continue watching me in real time on my website through the YouTube player. Or if you want to comment and read the comments, there's a link there to go to the YouTube, okay? I got to hang up on you. I'm doing it. I'm going to count down to 20, and I'm going back to YouTube, all right? I'm not coming back again. It doesn't mean I don't love you. I love you. And it's really easy to do. It's not hard. You're just going from one player to the next player. So let's count down, okay? And then I'll come back to you guys in a second. You don't want to miss this stuff. What I'm going to tell you about the Canadian border and how it ties, right? You'll know something about the show. I always tie my stories and I always tie my segments together. Here we go. We're going to start walking. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Adios, amigos. All right. One hand Dennis. I can't tell you how happy I am. Woo! 2 hand thing's killing me. So anyway, so we go into this whole thing about how we're going to stop ISIS. Well, here's the thing. I go back to the Rudy Giuliani thing, right? So you think ISIS is going to try to drive the car amid the inauguration? Absolutely not, man. Absolutely not. Got to think about the way they think about it. They know they're not going to be able to disrupt that day. They know that we're going to have every single law enforcement official and his mother and his sister and everybody else who owns a gun standing there. What are we going to do then, DML? What are they going to do? I'll tell you what they're going to do. It's almost like a football play. It's going to be like that Statue of Liberty play where you hand it off and you pretend and then you throw long. Yeah, what they're going to do is they're going to make everybody look over here. Or the magic trick, right? The magic trick is, what's up my sleeve? What's up my sleeve? What's up my sleeve? And then all of a sudden, really, what I'm doing with my other hand is something else, right? Yeah. So we're making everybody look at the inauguration. And meanwhile, we're going to start blowing up things. We're going to start hurting people at other places. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen because I don't hang out with ISIS. I'm just telling you that if I were to put my head in their head, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create terror in another place where you're not looking. And that's how you distract the inauguration. That's how you get people and the cameras who are all going to be pointed on Donald J. Trump saying, right hand, I do solemnly swear, blah, 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 blah. You know, the whole thing. Yeah. Well, let me tell you how that gets interrupted when you hear that a building was just blown up, whether it be in New York or whether it be, if I were doing it, I'd be doing it in a little tiny place. I'd be doing it in places. I'd be blowing them up. D-Bell, don't give them ideas. You think I'm giving those nut jobs ideas? They've already thought this out long time ago, my friends. Long time ago. Trust me on that one. Okay, so that's going to be what I think they're going to do. That's how they're going to create Bloody Friday. That's how I would do it if I were in charge of them and I was willing to die. And think about it, in many cases, you might not even have to be willing to die because everybody's going to be looking the other way. Yeah, and then all of a sudden the cameras come in on Trump because you know NBC is just dying to break away from when he says he swears to be the president. All right, breaking news. Building blows up in somewhere, California. Building blows up and, you know, 2 people run down. This is what you're going to look at if they're really serious, if ISIS is really serious. Now, the other thing you have to keep in mind is that ISIS is all about making you scared. That's what terrorism is. It's the whole, I'm going to get into your brain and make you afraid to go to the mall. I'm going to get in your brain and make you afraid to go to the inauguration. Well, Americans don't run. Our colors, red, white, and blue, don't bleed, right? We don't run. We don't run. No. So what happens is we go to these places and we just say, hey, law enforcement, make sure you're doing the job that we're paying you for in our taxes. And that's why we're going to be very happy when Donald J. Trump, president-elect, gets into the White House. Because what he's going to do, and now I go back to what I was saying to you a couple minutes ago, what he's going to do is he's going to be picking up the phone every day. Hey, FBI. Hey, CIA. Hey, police departments. Hey, sheriffs. Hey, Border Patrol. Hey, everybody. The days of you not having to do your job, the days of you being able to look the other way, hey, IRS, we're going back to the rule of law. We're going back to law and order. And if you don't do it, if you don't do the job that you were hired to do, if you don't follow the rules, you're fired. Remember him, right? Nobody says that better than him. You're fired. That's what he's going to do. And we're going to get back on track. This is why I do not think certain aspects of fixing America is going to take very long. Overall, to get back to the old great Reagan years, where everybody felt like they could own a house and have a job and start a business, that's going to take some time. A lot of fixes. But some of this other stuff I'm talking about, getting back law and order, getting things in ruly again, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal at all. All it takes is will. Just like the border. Right now I'm going to start transitioning here into story time. It's just like the border. The border is not the function of the wall. The border is the will to defend the border. See, there hasn't been a will. There's been a will on the side of the Border Patrol and the good people who are part of that whole defend our nation. But at the top, there has been no will. And there has been no will for a long time. This goes back to George W. Bush. This goes back to, I mean, I can't tell you how many presidents it goes back to. It even goes back to Reagan. As much as we love Reagan, let's not forget, the guy gave amnesty, okay? He thought he was going to give it to 1 million people. He gave it to 4 million people. And that's why I always say, whenever you hear that 11 million, 12 million number, like, oh, we got 11, 12 million illegal aliens? Come on, really? Have you gone to Home Depot lately? Seriously, 11 million, 12 million? We're creating, are you kidding? We probably got that many just in Florida and California alone. 12, 11 million. If history repeats itself, which you know it always does, we probably got 4 times, 5 times the amount that the government's saying, right? We go back to Reagan thinking he's going to have 1 million, he gave it to 4 million, and we keep on saying 11, 12 million. It's going to come out, got it. How did I get this stuff? I got it because I've lived it. I've gone down, I've done it. Not once, not twice, so many times I can't even count. Not just with the southern border and working with the Border Patrol, not just being with the ranchers and working with the ranchers, not jumping into Mexico and checking it out myself like I have. I've actually gone to the northern border, the place that nobody ever looks at. And let me tell you something. If we do have another major 9/11, if Trump can't stop it fast enough, And I'm not talking Cyber 9/11. That's a whole nother day, and I am going to hit that probably this week. Cyber 9/11, I may take the whole hour just to focus on pure crossing into our country to create bad, to create harm, to create death. That's what I'm talking about. The northern border, just so this way you know, in case you haven't looked at your map in a few years, is twice the size as the southern border. It is actually the biggest border in the world, the border between Canada and the United States of America. Most of that border is not protected, monitored at all whatsoever. Now, you could be in a situation where some of the places, is nothing but forest and woods for, days and days. Hold on, I got a text. This could be Joe from Right Side Broadcasting telling me, hey man, just want to let you know. Yep, okay. Joe's telling me 5,000 people on YouTube. All right, that's usually low. We have more than that usually. We're probably about anywhere from 8,000 to 12,000, but people may be confused. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe people just don't like me anymore. That would be sad. Anyhow, 5,000. So we're doing well. So let's get back to the point. Here's the point. Most of it isn't monitored, surveilled, patrolled whatsoever. And the amount of Border Patrol agents we have up in the north, very, very small, minuscule. You can drive like yours truly does, and you'll see this in They Come to America 3. If you guys got the DVDs, you'll see I take a whole thing and go to the northern border. It will blow you away. Actually, it will keep you up at night. And so you can go and find one Border Patrol agent over by, let's say, the top of New York, little east of the Niagara Falls area, which, by the way, Toronto is a hotbed for terror. But we'll get back to that. So you could see one Border Patrol agent hanging out, and then you could go literally for an hour. You won't see another one. You won't see another one. They are so understaffed. And would you believe it, that a time when terror has gotten to a point of where it's like, where are they? They're all around us. We have gotten to a point where he actually shrunk the number. Obama shrunk the number of Border Patrol people. That's what he did. Yeah, up in the north. It's insane. You talk to these guys, like I talk to these guys, they're like, Dennis, people coming over all day long. They're coming over all day long. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. All right. I kind of stole that. But you get it. Okay, so I said, well, how are they coming over? How's the whole thing happening? So during the summer months, right, just in the big area of New York and the east side there, Michigan, all this other stuff, there's a lot of lakes and stuff. So during the summer, these guys could easily just get in a boat, drive over. There's really nobody monitoring this stuff. Yeah, the Border Patrol has some boats out there and stuff like that, but it's so freaking easy. It's so freaking easy. And I'm not even talking about just being able to come over into the U.S. with a passport, okay? I'm talking about if you want to smuggle over drugs, you want to smuggle over illegal weapons, you want to smuggle over bomb-making material. And oh, by the way, I don't know if you know this or not, but Canada is one of the biggest producers of uranium. Really, DML? I didn't know that. Of course you didn't. That's why you tune in every day. Really? Really? Okay, so, and you know what else is really bad? There have been tests before. Government Accountability Office have done tests to see whether or not they could come up with fake, phony businesses, right? Buy uranium, buy all these different devices that you would use. I mean, the list is long, and I don't want to ruin the whole movie. The list of stuff that you buy to bring in the country, that if you wanted to create a smart bomb, guess what happens? Nobody stops them. You buy the stuff. They don't check out who you are, Canada. You're going through the border, you're going through customs and inspection. You show your invoice, you show who you are, fake credentials, people getting right through. DML, you making this stuff up? Would I do that to you? Have I ever done it to you? No, you haven't. Why am I going to start now? You're not. Exactly. Okay, so we go back. So yours truly, I'm looking into all this stuff, right? So I'm like, let me go over to Canada. Let me check this out for myself. So I go up, not during the summer, but during the winter, when you don't even need a boat. What do you mean you don't need a boat, DML? Listen to this. They call it the ice bridge. The ice bridge. The water, the lakes, get so cold up there, they become so hardened that you can drive across them with absolutely no issue whatsoever. And you think about it, you know about ice fishermen, right? Ice fishermen drive their trucks right on the ice. They need an actual drill, one of those mega drills to get through into the water, right? Down it. Yeah, to just get the fish. So I'm like, wait a second. You can just drive across the ice? Yeah, you can drive across the ice. Now, if you're in Canada and you want to come over to the US and you don't want to go through the inspection process, even though you probably could if you just had fake documents, because nobody's really checking, because a lot of our folks here in the US who are supposed to be checking documents to do it, they can't find their buttocks with both hands. By the way, YouTubers, that's the big term on this show. Can't find your buttocks with both hands. I used to say ASS, but somebody told me it was a bad word, which is really not. But I'm going to respect that person. So buttocks is more funny anyway, I think. They can't find their buttocks with both hands. So here's what happens. They actually get in their trucks and they drive across. The guy almost hit me. Here's the other thing. Sometimes I come close to having fights. Now I'm thinking that guy's a liberal. Yeah, he's definitely. Oh, actually, no. You know what? He's stoned. I'm now smelling the marijuana. So he was smoking a joint and almost hit me in his truck. Happens all the time here for you YouTubers. I've actually had to chase people down on live Facebook. Remember that one time, guys? I had to chase the guy down who almost hit me when he was getting my free haircut. Yeah. So anyhow, go back. So they get in their trucks and they drive across the ice and they're there in America. Now here's where it gets even more spooky. Because I told you there's no border patrol, right? There are places where the border patrol do not go because there are Indian reservations up there along the top of the border. And so you can actually drive across from New York into Canada without any crossing. You're kidding me, right, D-Mel? No, I'm not. You ready? Let's make pretend. How do I do this with the phone? Here we go. Ready? So I'm on this side of the street, and this is the US, right? And I want to get to this side of the street, which is Canada. Endless places. Yeah, I show you in the movie. Nobody there, nobody stop you. So you'll actually see the stop signs. They go from reading stop to being read in French. Yep. In case you didn't know, French, France, Canada, you get it. So yeah, that's how it is. So people driving across on the ice, and they go into the part there with the Indian reservation, and they drive right across in the US. Nobody's checking them. No customs, no border patrol, no nothing. That's simple. You don't even need a passport. So now you come back and you say to me, DML, aside from just scaring the living daylights out of me, is it really a concern? Yeah. Yeah. First of all, Canada, have you seen their new guy, Trudeau? I mean, come on. Seriously, I could say stuff that, well, I'd probably get kicked off every social network for saying it. Trudeau, all right? Take a look at him. You want to talk about can't find your buttocks with both hands? Come on, man. This guy's IQ, what's it dangling around, 12? All right? So they're taking in people. Canada, taking in people left and right from all over the Middle East, just like we are, no different. The amount of Islam extremism in Canada is explosive. You think it's bad here? It's bad there. Wait until you see in the film. They Come to America 3. So anyhow, I'm checking this whole ice bridge thing out. Can't believe what I'm seeing. I'm like, maybe this Canadian police or Canadian border patrol, if you will, on the other side. So I go across this water, go right into Canada, check it all out. Guess what? Guess what is on the other side of the ice bridge? Jeopardy time. Do 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 do. Toronto Maple Leafs hockey team. No. Next guess. Trudeau's mother's house. No. Next guess. 7-Eleven with a France sign? No. Next guess. One more time. You get one more guess. Oh man, DML, you're challenging me here. You're challenging me here. An airport? No. The single biggest mosque you have ever seen in your life. It's actually the Islamic Institute. It is the size of a university, sitting right on the water to the ice bridge. This Islamic Institute has, of course, ties to the bad people. And in addition to that, the FBI has looked into the place. Yeah. And yet, yours truly sits there, and I see cars coming across. Get it all on camera. DML, there's nobody like you. Oh, sure there is. Who? You. Yeah, you do the same thing if you were me. So yes, it's a hotbed of terror up in Toronto. And oh, by the way, do you know how many people we've caught so far who have been trying to blow up America with trains? Yeah, absolutely. DML, how do I see this? All right, here comes the part where we sell at the end of the show. Which really not sell. I'm kind of giving it away too cheap, to be honest. You go to DennisMichaelLynch.com, and you'll see right there at the top. Right there at the top. Well, if you use your cell phone, you won't see it. If you use a tablet or computer, you see it at the top. I am giving you all 5 of my films. They come to America. 1, 2, 3. We Ride to DC and A Day at Bundy's. All 5 of them for $20 plus the shipping. And I give you a whole free set for free. People have started getting their DVDs. They got them on Friday. They got them on Saturday. The messages that I'm getting in. DML, I watched it for 10 hours straight. Oh my goodness. Yesterday, we didn't do that many sales yesterday. I don't know why. Maybe it was Sunday. I took all the profits and I donated. I told you, I was donating to the veterans of one case or another. I decided to donate to Wreaths of America, where they take the wreaths and they put it, on the, in Arlington Cemetery. So I made a nice donation to them yesterday. And I think there's a couple bucks left over. I'm going to find another place to donate as well. So if you want to go there, you better go there and get these things quick, because sooner or later I'm not going to be able to tell you, yeah, they'll be there before Christmas. But if you order today, I think they'll ship tomorrow. Yesterday's ships today. So there you go. That's all that information you need to know. It is scary, my friends. It is scary. And everybody's it's the same thing I talked to you about. Remember what I said to you earlier in the show here? I said to you, an Islamic terrorist sees Inauguration Day and says, okay, everybody's looking over here. Donald J. Trump, all the cameras over there. We're going to attack over here. Yeah, we're putting all of our energy and all of our focus down on the southern border, rightfully so, that we have to be protecting it, and we're not protecting it at all. And yes, people are coming through the border. Islamic terrorists are coming through the border. Chinese are coming through the border. People from everywhere around the world are coming through the border. But while all eyes on Mexico, nobody's watching Canada. Nobody. Well, there's one guy. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so we ended up on this. If you're not doing the text messaging thing, you got to sign up for it. Now, a couple people telling me, Dennis, we're not getting the text messages. We signed up for it, we're not getting it. Some guy said to me yesterday, DML, I tried it one way and it didn't work. I tried another way and it worked. So here, I'm going to give you the way. First of all, you take your cell phone, after you're done watching me, and you go 40404. And then what you do is you send a text. Follow at, not AT, the at sign, Real Dennis Lynch. This guy he went follow, spacebar, at Real Dennis Lynch. He put the space between the follow and the at. He said it wound up working for him. So try that. I don't know. Mary did it with the space. For those of you YouTube, Mary's my wife. Once in a while she walks with me. She, I don't know, she's doing something today work related, so she couldn't do it. Plus she didn't want to go out in the rain, but it didn't rain. God said, Dennis has a message. Take away the rain. All right? So anyhow, that's how you do that. And listen, for all those of you who have converted over, and I know Facebook Live is a pretty cool tool when it works, but not only we have Right Side Broadcasting now helping me out, the YouTube thing's going to have to work for as long as it works. I bet you it hasn't been interrupted one time. If it was, Joe would have called me on my cell phone. He would have sent me a text. He would have done something to interrupt me. He hasn't done it once. So anyhow, that being said, I want to thank all of you for timing in. We'll be back here tomorrow and every day until I can't walk anymore, which is starting to become the case. The amount of rash between my legs is nuts. I don't know why it is. Maybe because I did 2 walk-in talks on Saturday, and then the other day I did them in corduroys instead of sweatpants and my exercise equipment, whatever it may be. Too much information, D-Bell. All right, sorry. So anyhow, thank you to Right Side Broadcasting. Thank you, all of you. Come back here again every day, 11:40 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll always have the new, it's always going to be a different YouTube link. It's always new. All right, so we'll always be putting it up. We'll be sending you the alerts. You'll get it. We'll get together with it. Tomorrow I'll do the 2-phone thing again until I feel confident that people are starting to get it. You have any questions, you have any concerns, you have any comments, you send them to us, email wetrustdml@gmail.com. If you already ordered your DVDs, give it a few more days, right, before you start sending me panic notices. Daz, I haven't seen my DVDs yet. We didn't get tracking number. We sold a lot of DVDs, all right? Give us a little break. We're not Amazon. We don't drop things off with drones. We do things the old-fashioned way. We ship them through United States Postal Service. So give us a little leeway. All right? That's that. I have now ended my walk. My arms are killing me, but it's great to be alive, huh? All right. Until tomorrow, my friends. And remember, DennisMichaelLynch.com puts up a new news item now we're doing it every half hour. I have so many new writers every half hour. If you're not getting them in your news feed on Facebook, listen, just go straight to the website, man. We got everything up there. Everything. We're covering it all. World items, local items, Trump, Stein. We got it all. All videos, stuff that makes you laugh, stuff that makes you cry, stuff that makes you think. All right, and plus we always rerun this. So if you had to drop off, don't worry, come back later. You'll see it, DennisMichaelLynch.com. Walk and talk. It's right there. You'll see it at the top. All right. I always sign off the same way as I used to when I used to have a show at Newsmax. And then all of a sudden they went, pull the plug. All right. So it is. God bless you. God bless our troops. God bless the United States of America. And God bless double thoughts. Over and out.